Many thanks for choosing us. It's been almost a week of investigations into the gruesome murder of military Captain Maxwell Mahama in Denkyira Obuasi in the central region. Military and police homicide investigators have been on the ground combing for every detail and to bring justice to the fallen soldier. In the next few hours, the police will open up to the public on the probe and give full details of the lynching as they found in the investigations. We'll be live at the police headquarters for that all-important presser, but on the ground, police are making inroads in their search for suspects. This morning, a woman reported her husband, who she saw in the video, to police, leading to his arrest. Here's Ojobi District Police Commander ASP David Osei-Fufie explaining how Charles Ban was arrested.
We have in our custody suspects Charles Queen in Kwesi Boa, age 30, who was arrested at Guma Domnasi upon a tip of his involvement in the murder of the military captain at Denkyira Obuasi. When we question preliminary, he is saying that he had run away to escape arrest from the military. Even though he's denying his involvement, we have information from our counterparts in Kepus that his name has been mentioned. I wish to advise members of the public that when they see any strange face in their area or anybody who is suspected to be coming from Denkyira Obuasi, they should alert the police for us to arrest and conduct investigations.
The one with the zero, please.
This afternoon. Yeah. I will. What team is I'm not sure.
As I would Judy, be able to chop picture.
So it starts. Yes, sir. The who gonna be Judy?
Other pain is
ever when come when they can't, and then we can't the same color. The same.
I remember that.
Was the latest, that's the latest suspect who has been arrested, making the number of arrests 14. Let's get on to the phone lines and speak to our correspondent, JoyNews, who is in the central region. He will be updating us. Good afternoon to you, Richard. Bring us to speed with investigations by the Regional Police Command.
So as we heard the Kaswa Divisional Police Commander confirming the arrest of one of the suspects who went to visit the wife, or who wanted to hide where the wife was, and he was arrested this dawn. Apart from that one, 5 other persons were also arrested at Asankreba in the western region. One was also arrested yesterday at Techiman in the Bronga Half region. And so the 7 that have been arrested lately, they are going to be added to the 7 that were put before court yesterday, that were remanded in police custody. The police have been telling me that they are going to make, they are going to arrest everyone who is involved, and so they have put all the police officers, the district police commanders, they have put all of them on alert that they should be fishing for the suspects. So whichever way that the information will be provided, they should follow the list, and so that the culprits would, or the perpetrators of the killing or the lynching of Adams Mahama would be arrested. And so they are all over in the central region, and they've alerted other regions as well to be on the alert and look out for the perpetrators of the lynching of Adams Mahama.
All right, many thanks to JoyNews for the update. On the other phone lines is Denkyira, who is stationed at Denkyira Obuasi. Good afternoon to you. What's the latest from that town? All right, so we'll try and get my colleague Denkyira to join us with updates from Denkyira Obuasi. But the Upper Denkyira West Assembly has thrown an invitation to President Akufo-Addo to personally pay a visit to the area to establish the truth or otherwise in claims made by suspended DCE Daniel Apienim. The DCE was asked to step down temporarily by the president following comments deemed to be insensitive he said to have made following the lynching of Captain Mahama of the 5th Battalion Battalion Infantry. The Ghana Police Service has already charged 7 suspects with murder over the incident. Presiding member of the Upper Denkyira West Assembly, Gabriel Kwejo Kakari, says the president's visit is critical to establishing the truth in that development.
We want to send our condolences to the bereaved family, especially the children and the mother and the wife, and even especially to the military command at the head office, especially police. What has happened, we are not even happy at a single day or in a minute. And as we told the whole world, we are preparing and we have decided to help whatever involved in that act will be fished out. The whole Denkyira, we are very sad about the issue which has happened. We are not very happy at all. Not a single day, even a single person is happy about what has happened. But we know in every situation or in every community, we had bad people in our mix. That's why this thing has happened. But all what we are saying is that we are not happy and we are not even, will not be forgiving those who are involved. And we are ready to help the government to fish each and every one who is involved in that act out. The Ebium and say Denkyira Traditional Council, Yeni Abre pa to the extent say what has happened, we are not happy at all. And what the government have said, we have accepted it in good faith. But what we are praying is that the government should do thorough investigation. We are appealing to Nana to come down to the place where the incident happened, and especially what he heard about our DC. He should come to the place and do very authoritative investigation so that they will know what is going on over here.
That was MCE for Denkyira West lamenting and the frustration. Gabriel Kwejo Kakari is actually inviting the president to take a visit to the area to get a first-hand information for himself as to all the issues happening there. But certainly, they are not happy about the situation. Joining me in the studio is Malik Abbas Dabo, my Joy Online editor and deputy head to the political desk. Malik, welcome. It's been almost a week of mourning, grief. I'm sure you are devastated by the brutal killing or the brutal treatment meted out onto this army captain.
I obviously am, just like any Ghanaian. I consistently have had arguments with people who think that instant justice or injustice is the way to go. And I've argued with people for a very, very long time. The sad thing is, and we must admit this, it's sad, but it's the truth, that the average Ghanaian has a mob mentality. The average Ghanaian lacks the patience to go through procedure and process that will lead to the resolution of a matter. The average Ghanaian believes that when something happens, the results must be here, now. And when people have disagreements, the reason why you have deities and other things being prominent in our everyday language and conversations and dealings is that the average Ghanaian believes that the results must be now. So when you have a disagreement, people will resort to swearing, cursing, invocation of deities, and such other punitive actions. So we believe in immediacy. Now, to go through the process of arresting somebody and going through the processes, we lack the patience for it.
And it happens that mostly it's only the negative things that we lack patience to wait for.
It's not strange at all when you hear people say, oh, we don't have confidence in the justice system. We don't have confidence in the criminal justice system. The reason is that the criminal justice system requires that every individual, and this is in our constitution, that every individual is entitled to a presumption of innocence until proven guilty.
Exactly.
That Aisha, if I were to come here and take this pen, even if I am seen taking the pen, I am still entitled to a presumption of innocence.
Definitely.
That the mere fact that I have taken the pen does not mean that I intended to steal the pen.
Yeah.
That when you define theft, theft is defined as appropriation of property belonging to another person with the intention of permanently depriving the person of its use. So you may have seen me pick the pen, but did I intend to keep the pen and deprive you, the owner of the pen, of its use? The answer may be no. Yeah. So merely seeing me taking the pen is not prima facie evidence that I intended to steal it or that I stole it, and therefore I'm a thief, and therefore I deserve instant justice. Yeah. So that is why we have given ourselves a law, and the law says when you find somebody engaged in a conduct which you disagree with, there is a legal system through which the person must be taken. So that when the guilt of the person is established, all of us can satisfy ourselves that there is no doubt left in anybody's mind that the person is guilty of the crime of which the person is accused. The reason this is absolutely important, Asha, is for the protection of all of us, that one day you will not just wake up and somebody, and Samson likes to give this example, you woke up, you are a married person and you woke up one morning and you found your spouse stabbed, and you pick the knife and you are wondering what has happened. There and then the police enter your house and then they arrest you.
That you're the one who killed.
The ordinary Ghanaian would say, you are the guilty one. You killed your spouse. You should be killed. Yeah. The law says, no, we should present you before an impartial jury and let you tell your side of the story.
Yes, to give you
so that this jury can listen to your story, that you should be given legal counsel, that there should be a lawyer who will advise you to your rights, that you have to tell your story in this way in order that you will not incriminate yourself.
Exactly so.
That it is entirely possible that some people entered your house, stabbed your husband, and gave you the knife and threatened you that if you don't pick up the knife, we are going to shoot you.
It can happen.
It can happen, and that you picked the knife. So merely seeing somebody with a knife and a man or a woman lying by that person in a pool of blood is not evidence that the person who was holding the knife killed the person.
And even in this case, the captain was not seen doing anything bad. He was just jogging.
I'm just laying the grounds as to why it is absolutely important for all of us to move away from this unholy tendency to convict people in our minds and therefore proceed to administer instant justice. It does not work in any civilized society, and regrettably, Aisha, I have been confronted by educated people and have had serious arguments with educated people who believe that when somebody is caught stealing, there is the solution is that the person should be administered instant justice. Educated people.
That is totally wrong, and that is where the NCCE need to up their game to educate people. Patriotism. What happened to the Ghanaian patriotism?
Aisha,
what happened to it?
Look at the irony of this. So, Captain Mahama gets killed, and the Ghanaians' response is, let the soldiers go there and deal with them.
Yeah.
That's a response.
Yeah.
The same thing to which Captain Mahama has unfortunately been subjected to is what we are advocating.
Exactly so.
That which the military should be allowed to go there and administer
the same
instant justice or injustice on the people or to them.
Yeah.
And people say, if this was the days of the AFRC, if Rawlings was in power, what part of the Ghanaian is thinking? The mob mentality, that something has happened, a heinous crime has been committed, and we want instant justice. The people who have been arrested, I have heard people say, why is a lawyer representing them? The lawyer is
their right.
The lawyer is heartless. So the people who are making this argument, they have concluded that to the extent that the police say these guys played a role in the unfortunate death of Captain Mahama, they are guilty.
Yeah.
That once you are accused, you are guilty. You are guilty as charged. I mean, it's an unfortunate reasoning.
I understand the emotions that plays when it comes to this discussion. A lot of emotions have been attached to this, but of course, law is law and it must be allowed to operate.
It is important, Aisha, because we don't want to be like the people who have committed this heinous crime.
Definitely so.
If we go and hold these guys and beat them up and kill them or bundle them into jail without any proper processes, we act as them and we are not any better. And we should ask ourselves, is that what Captain Mahama wants?
Yeah.
My answer is no. Captain Mahama wants justice. He does not want jungle justice. Captain Mahama, in my view, would not want any innocent person to be bundled into jail or to be beaten up and manhandled and imprisoned because the person is suspected to have played a role in his unfortunate killing. Yeah. So let all of us reflect soberly. Let the law take its own course. If a person is accused of playing a part in this, let that be proven. And the law says it must be proven beyond reasonable doubt.
Malik,
that whilst
there has been concerns that some of these issues happen all the time. And in all of this, how many of them have we heard the police say, when we started investigations, we've ended, and this is the outcome of the investigation? These are some of the things that make people impatient, and they feel, well, the answer will be the same.
Well, I sympathize with that position, and I have my own frustrations about our criminal justice system and the fact that sometimes it simply doesn't work and it doesn't make any sense. But the fact is we don't have an alternative. The alternative is what has happened, which we all condemn. The alternative is that we should take the law into our own hands and that we should administer instant justice or injustice. That alternative is a senseless one and we cannot advocate it. I think that there are problems with our criminal justice system, but if all of us collectively agree that we want to make it work, we can make it work.
Let's rewind to how it all started, Malik, and let's look at the response. The police, the military went there to have a first-hand information. The police are there to conduct investigations. We know of deployment of homicide units, forensic team, and all of that. And indeed, we are going to be getting some updates. But would you say there is this issue has, even government has also gone into all of this? Would you say it has attracted the appropriate response?
I would say yes, because Aisha, there is what we call watershed moments in every nation's life. Sometimes wrongs happen, but it takes one particular wrong to galvanize the nation, mobilize the people, elicit the appropriate anger and frustration, and then lead to either legislation or commitment or determination by the citizenry that this shall not happen again. That happens in every nation's life. I am hoping, my prayer, my fervent prayer is that we will use the callous, unfortunate incidents involving the decorated, young, vibrant, ambitious, intelligent soldier as that watershed moment.
Okay, Malik, let me have you hold for a minute and let's cross over to the central region where the Deputy Regional Minister, Thomas A.J. Bafor, is addressing some people.
Will you be here?
to manage the affairs of the district that needs, urgent attention?
Oh, at least I'll spend 2 days in a week here. It interests you to know that I'm also a Denkyira boy, so I'm also familiar with the terrain here. I'm not a stranger here at all.
I know you are not a stranger at all, and that is why I want to find out from you how consistent you'll be here.
I'll be here. At least, like I said, at least 2 days I'll be here.
So, Honorable, against the background that the Assembly's work is tedious, against the background that the Assembly's work is not supposed to be 2 days, how are you going to cooperate with your regional ministry work and the Assembly? What will be the back?
Well, that's why I said at least 2 days.
Is that enough?
At least 2 days. At least 2 days. Okay. The minimum will be 2 days. I'll manage it. I'll manage it. I'll know how to go about it. By His grace, I'll manage it.
Are you satisfied with the kind of the speed at which police has attached to this whole story? Investigations, people are being arrested, from all over the country, Central region, Western, Ashanti, and Puno Ahafo region.
I believe you're also satisfied. Once you are satisfied, I'm also satisfied.
Some of the utterances from the social media, the DC says he has supported the party with the Galamsey money, the president cannot move him out of the office. Have you heard some, and did you discuss that with the DC?
From the conversation I had with him, he says he hasn't said anything like that. So let's leave it like that.
I hope he handed over to you an idea where the district had wanted to set up a task force to deal with Galamsey operations in the district. Should we expect a committee of that nature, a task force of that nature, moving into action in the district?
He just handed over to me. I'm going through the handover notes, and definitely you'll hear from us. You'll hear from us.
Thank you so much. So that was the Central Regional Deputy Minister sharing his thoughts with us. Unfortunately, he says he's just taking over the affairs of the Upper Denkyira West District. So we are even happy that he agreed to speak to us.
And that was Denkyira speaking with the regional minister. Now, let's touch base with Denkyira, who is in Denkyira, Obuasi. What's the situation on the ground?
Thank you, Aisha. The Denkyira Obuasi community remains deserted. A few residents are back, but we are here to pick their belongings. The unfortunate thing is that the BEC candidates here are uncertain of whether they will take part in next week, Monday's BEC exam because they are not adequately prepared. And besides, their teachers are also not available to lead them. So for them, they thought that for this year's BEC exam, people of Upper Denkyira West, specifically Denkyira Obuasi, would not take part. And some of them told me, for instance, the Roman Catholic JHS, about 42 candidates are expected to write the BEC, but only 3 of them are currently available in the community as of this morning. So they have been asking questions of where the whereabouts of their other colleagues who are expected to take part in the exam. And the Anglican JHS, I'm told, also has the largest number, 46 candidates registered to take this year's BEC. So there's this sort of uncertainty hanging around them, and they themselves told me they are traumatized. They can't even study because the majority of them, the 3 gentlemen I spoke to, live all their lives in the bush. When I met them, they were there to pick a trouser. The other gentleman was there to also get something to eat and then go back to the bush. So that is a big difficult now for the DEC candidates. from Denkyira Obuasi.
How about the health facilities? Are they still closed?
Yes, the health facility remains closed. For now, the last time I checked, about an hour ago, the officer in charge told me they have no idea when they'll be returning to resume work. So for now, even the patients who are the community that is supposed to provide the patients, the community is deserted. So even if they continue to remain at post, I'm not sure they would have seen patients, because from Tuesday up to Wednesday, that's to say Tuesday, Wednesday, and even yesterday before they closed the facility down, not even a single patient walked into the facility to receive attention. So a facility that used to see at least 25 patients, registering 0 patient ratio for them was unbelievable. So the best option was for them to close down the facility. Even for them, they themselves have been living in fear, let alone to have the courage and the strength to attend to patients out there.
Ohime, we know the chiefs of the town have been speaking, and it's obvious they are not happy about the situation. And it's also obvious that a lot of people are fleeing the town for good. Do you have a feeling that they will return sometime, or they're fleeing for good, or they will return, after some few days or weeks?
For now, yes, the chiefs have spoken, and they have condemned the acts of the residents. But the residents, though they have assurance of the military high command that there won't be any reprisal attack, there's this fear hanging around their neck that the military, noted of them, will still come back and attack them. So those who come, take few belongings and leave, they have no idea of when they will return to the community. So the Obuasi community, which hitherto a very busy and vibrant community, now is deserted, with few of the people around coming over to either pick things on a motorbike, and immediately you see them on another motorbike leaving the community. So I'm not sure they will come back, because the few people I spoke to tells me they have no idea when they will return to their base.
Well, in some few minutes, we are expecting some updates from the police, and definitely they'll be telling us about what their forensic team have picked from that community. Have you still cited the team there, the forensic team, the homicide team? Are they still around, or they've left?
The police team are still here. I've seen a couple of them around, moving up and down in the community, trying to pick more details from the spot, the community where the incident happened. Yes, they have been very busy, doing all that they can to pick more information. So yes, they are still here.
All right, many thanks, JoyNews. I will be coming back to you for more from that community, which has been the center of discussion for the whole week. Malik, back to you. And as I said earlier, very soon we'll be hearing from the police, and definitely they'll be telling us what they've picked so far. We also know that the soldiers or the military went there to pick first-hand information. We know they went to the crime scene, they touched some of the things there. But what we are not aware of is whether they going there will affect any evidence for the forensic team.
Oh, I mean, come on, they are security people. And I'm not sure they just sent anyone. They may have sent persons who have specialized training in the collection of evidence.
But we saw them touching the things, touching some of the things. I
saw some, but I saw people wearing gloves.
Yes, some of them were wearing gloves, but others were not wearing gloves. They were picking the stones, supposedly the ones that were used to hit the man.
Yes, so I'm sure when they do the analysis, if for example they take a soldier's DNA and they do the analysis, they know that the soldier wasn't there when this thing happened. The soldier went there after the incident, so they can disregard that. If any other person's DNA is found on a particular piece of stone or block or anything, that can be part of the evidence that will be used against the person. So I'm not overly concerned about their presence there and the fact that they helped in collecting evidence, because I believe they are trained to do that anyway. So I'm not overly concerned at all. I've heard one of the police commanders talking about their presence there, warding off the residents of the area, thereby making it difficult for the police to be able to gather intelligence. I doubt that very much. I do not think that the police need all the people there at a particular material time to be able to pick out who may have played a role or not in the unfortunate killing of Captain Adam.
Malik, we know that at this press conference, definitely we'll be told about some 14 people who have been arrested. We know about that. They will be telling us what their men have gathered on the grounds. But what would be your expectation of this presser?
Well, my expectation is that they will give us some more information than we already have, because the general populace is jittery. We want to know what exactly happened. Maybe not the arcane details of what happened, but a certain information that will give us a sense of understanding of what happened on that day. What did Captain Mahama do? Where did he go? How did it all start? I think that will give all of us a certain sense of understanding and appreciation, and maybe some closure of a sort that, okay, this is what happened. Because when you listen to the stories, they are so disjointed that it's difficult to understand and to accept that what we hear is what actually happened. So the expectation, and I believe that this expectation is quite a reasonable one, that the police will give us some bit more information that we already know, that the police can straighten up some of the things that we have heard which don't quite align properly and quite frankly difficult to understand, that they can straighten that up and that they can give assurance that they are collecting information in a manner as to secure a conviction of the persons who are behind this crime. That the police have failed us in the past, that all of us have settled in this unfortunate conundrum where people commit these kinds of crimes and virtually nothing happens. As for my whole time in Accra, and not to say that lynchings don't happen elsewhere, because I'm in Accra, I know that lynchings tend to happen here many times than in other places. Of course, they happen elsewhere too. We just heard about the Upper East incident, coincidentally on the same day as Captain Mahama's thing. So lynchings happen, but I have seen so many lynchings. Nobody gets arrested or prosecuted. I have witnessed a lynching where the police were there when people were beating these guys up. Nobody was arrested. So, and I think that cumulatively this has kind of emboldened the Ghanaian and misled the Ghanaian into believing that it is acceptable once you find a person engaged in a conduct which you believe is unlawful. It is acceptable to take the person's life and to administer instant justice or injustice of slabs and all kinds of things. So I am hoping and praying, and I believe that's a prayer of many Ghanaians, that on this occasion and this particular incident, I believe that the police, when they want to do their work properly, are capable of doing same. That they will collect the evidence, watertight evidence, and that the charges will be properly proffered, and that they can make proper arguments and adduce their evidence in a manner as to leave nobody in doubt. I shall remember that in criminal trials, the standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. That if I accuse somebody of stealing your pen, I must produce evidence that leaves nobody in doubt that that person whom I say stole the pen indeed stole the pen, and that the person intended to steal the pen and stole it. That is the bar. proof beyond reasonable doubt that if there was any doubt, that doubt should go to the benefit of the accused. And I believe the police know this, that this is a national issue on our hands, that the evidence that they are collecting must not be tampered with, and that when they produce that evidence in court, the persons that they are bringing charges against, if anybody on the street were to see or hear that evidence, the person will be left in no doubt that they have committed the crime.
But this brings us to the pattern of police investigations, where we have seen in this country that a lot of people have been left off the hook because police investigations couldn't really link evidence to the people. Remember also that the court deals with at least a prima facie evidence to be able to acquit or convict somebody. In this case, do you feel, or do you sometimes have a feeling when you go back into your human being skin that this could happen along the line in this case?
I doubt that will happen, because I know that when eyes are watching and the police are determined, they will do their work. There are people who thousands and thousands of people who are serving jail sentences in our prisons. It is the same police that collected the evidence that led to their sentencing. So when the police are determined to do their job, they will do it. They will get it done, especially when eyes are watching. Unfortunately, that is where we are. Regrettably, over the years, due to lack of equipment or lack of tools and sufficient motivation, the police tend to do their best when there is a particular national attention on an issue. They tend to do their work.
Malik, let me have you hold, and we'll continue with that bit. We are told the Speaker of Parliament is currently at the residence of the late Captain Mahama. Let's go live and speak to my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, who is with the team. Good afternoon to you, Opoku-Gakpo. Tell us more about the Speaker's visit.
The Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Pay, as well as the Majority Leader, the Minority Leader, Harun Idrisu, and a number of other senior parliamentarians just left the residence of Captain Mahama. They came around to see his wife and the rest of the family. There was some interaction between the various sides when they met. In fact, the family has been making a request to the parliamentarians that they think that in order to create a situation where the memory of Captain Adam Mahama could be set out there for a very long time, they would want a national monument constructed in his honor somewhere within the country, which would constantly serve as a reminder when it comes to what exactly happened to him, and the need to ensure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. Professor Michael Pay has been reacting to that and indicating that this is something that they would be willing and ready to do, and do even more than that, just to ensure that the memory of Captain Adam Mahama is actually documented and set out there for a very long time. This, again, been raising concerns about how videos of the attack have been circulating on social media. They raised it again when the members of Parliament visited, and the Majority Leader of State Mensah was again been assuring them that government officials have indicated to him that efforts are ongoing to stop the circulation of these videos on social media, and also to ensure that the situation where people may see this and they may end up reviving the sorrow in them would come to a health. And so that's what has been happening here. The Speaker of Parliament left here a while ago. Again, just as the Speaker was leaving, Bishop Denkyira West, who is with the Lighthouse International, he also visited the family. The indication is that the wife of Captain Mahama actually churches there, and so Denkyira West was also around, actually coming straight to the family. That's what has been happening here.
Were there any requests made by the family?
Directly to the leader of the Lighthouse Chapel, no, except that he's again been saying prayers for the family and drumming on the point that at this juncture it's only God who would be able to see them through. And so he indicated to the family that he constantly keeps them in his prayers, and they are really looking forward to God helping them get through these difficult times. Beyond the members of the family, there were some other friends who had also gathered as well. And as I speak to you, the indication is that they are expecting even
around to come see the family. I can again tell you that various other government officials, including the defense minister and also the interior minister, were all present when the Speaker of Parliament paid a courtesy call on them as well, being parliamentarians. They've again been given that assurance that all the efforts are ongoing to bring the perpetrators of the act into book.
All right, many thanks to you. Joseph Opoku-Gapo is our parliamentary correspondent. He'll bring us more from Parliament in a subsequent bulletin. Malik is still with me here in the studio. Malik, looking at the interest, the high interest in this case, and of course, I can say that all well-meaning Ghanaians are amicus curiae to this particular case. In the event that the police do not meet expectations, implications could be dire. You agree?
Absolutely, Asha. I think that the national mood will be one of spectacular disappointments if nobody is convicted for this. I doubt that that will happen. But if that were to happen, the mood of the nation will be so sunken that I shudder to think what will happen. I don't see that happening. I believe that some people will be punished for this. I believe also that it may take a long time for this kind of heinous crime to be visited on any Ghanaian. The father of the late Captain Mahama, himself a retired Captain Mahama, has said that, and when he said that, it kept me thinking that for a long time he had not seen animals come together and stone another animal or attack another animal to death. He hasn't seen lions come together and attack a fellow lion. He hasn't seen goats or sheep or cows come together and attack another goat or sheep or cow. In fact, he said he doesn't remember the last time he saw human beings come together and stone an animal to death. Regrettably, quite unfortunately, sadly, that was the fate that the late Captain Mahama suffered. And he said, it is his prayer that this is the last time another citizen of this country will suffer this kind of indignity. And I have nothing useful to add to those comments.
What would be, for you, what would be the appropriate consolation? Because indeed, the whole of Ghana has been wounded. What would be the appropriate consolation for the country?
That henceforth, anybody, no matter their stature or standing in society, no matter their caste or creed or their religious or ethnic or political persuasions, that when they engage in hot-headed lawlessness, that all of us can come together and say no. That we shall not accept lawless behavior from anyone, regardless of what the justifications are. That is my prayer, that this incident would jolt all of us into action, that all of us will commit ourselves to saying no to this violence. But more importantly, Aisha, that all of us individually, that we will purpose in our hearts that when we disagree with people, no matter how violently we disagree with them, that our answer will not be to visit on them instant justice or to wish it even, that all of us will say no, no matter how badly we are wronged, that we will remind ourselves that this is not us, that this cannot be us, that a civilized people cannot administer instant justice when there are established institutions whose responsibility it is to administer justice in accordance with laid down processes and procedures that then allows everyone who is accused of committing a crime to defend themselves.
Malik, do you trust the police to bring us this consolation we are looking for?
I wish I could say yes, but unfortunately no. I am hoping that they will.
All right, many thanks to you. Malik Abbas Dabo makes the point clear, makes it straightforward, and he's editor of My Joy Online. He says that he trusts the police will bring us the consolation, but in the case they are not able to meet expectations, the implications will be dire because the interest in this case is very high. All meaning Ghanaians are parties to this case. We'll look out for how it pans out and we'll never stop updating you on this matter until the last minute. Many thanks to you, Malik, for passing by. The recent wave of mob attacks is raising questions about the state of the nation's security, with many fearing the current situation may degenerate into total chaos. Barely a week passes without news of a mob action fueling these claims of a heightened sense of insensitivity. And this report, Raymond Aqua, has more.
Although the dust over the gruesome murder of Captain Mahama and Denkyira Obuasi is yet to settle, another man has been lynched in a suburb of Kumasi. The man, believed to be in his 40s, was found lynched at Krono Dumase. This incident, according to the Menchia police, happened yesterday at dawn. On Tuesday, 4 officials of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly working at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange were attacked by traders when they tried to evict them. In a related event, 2 personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service have been hospitalized after being severely beaten by some residents of Asin Akropon in the central region. On Wednesday, the nation woke up to the news of a 67-year-old woman who was beaten to death in the Upper East region. These reports are compounded by recent mob attacks on the Kumasi court and the regional security coordinator of the Ashanti region by the vigilante group's Delta Force. It is not clear whether poverty, disappointment, and loss of hope are to blame for the situation or mere recklessness and lawlessness. What is clear is that it should be nipped in the bud before it gets out of hand.
And as such incidents continue to happen even within this week alone, do Ghanaians feel safe? We've been speaking with some people on the streets of Accra.
You don't know where you find yourself, where people will start raising fingers like, hey, this person is strange. He may be a thief or not. You see, for safetyness and this thing, we are not safe at all. If it has happened to a military man, what about we the civilians? Somebody who is not protected.
With the increasing rate of lawlessness and acts of violence, we are all at risk as Ghanaians. And there is a general sense of insecurity, as a result of now it's not a perception, but a growing culture of impunity, where people, do all kinds of things and they get away with it. Right, and because I'm a Ghanaian, I also move about in the night, and so if there's a general sense of insecurity, I can also say that unless and until something is done about it, to ensure that we are protected, we are safe at all times, I also feel insecure to that extent. But then it's not a hopeless situation because we have laws. And if our laws are enforced effectively, then our liberty will be secured, will be safe, and that fear of insecurity, will be done away with.
Ghanaians, they will be able to kill their brothers. So since I'm a foreigner, so I don't feel safe in Ghana.
The security for all of us is, very alarming. It could be me, it could be you, it could be anybody. Today, someone is lynched. It's not your family member. Tomorrow it could be your father. Tomorrow it could be your daughter, your son, your uncle. So I would advise that we all exercise restraint.
If they say democracy is not like this, if they say democracy is not like this, Kamin Kabia, Yedidi Agro. Now, they are killing the soldiers. The soldiers who take care of us, they are killing them. How we do now. So please, we appeal to the government to take care of us properly. So we are begging.
This is the Pulse, and that's where you get it digested to how you can consume it. We'll be back shortly with more discussions.